Okay, good morning, YouTube. It's morning for me. We are going to start by beginning a complete new company in QuickBooks. Now, this version is 2017. The versions are similar, so I think that's not of importance, but I wanted to create a set of videos that will show step-by-step creation, step-by-step processes. I'll try to make these videos short. I know it gets monotonous if it's one long video. It's hard to watch at one time. We'll make these videos short. But the software I always thought was pretty self-explanatory. The help is useful, the help function in the software. There are numerous YouTube videos. I'm just creating these for my existing clients so that there is a link that I can direct them to and offer any advice. I'll do these in stages, so when I'm approached with a question, I can direct directly to a link. But let's just get started. This is the 2017 version again. It's January 21st, 2017, so I haven't done much in this version. But again, they don't change much from year to year. Let's create a new company. Here's the startup. It gives you the option to control the setup, gives you the option to create a new company based on an existing company that you already have. So if you have a similar company set up and you need to set up an additional company, you can base it from that. Convert your data from Quicken or another software. We're going to go with just a detailed start. Let's control the entire thing. Creating a new company based on an existing one, you can do that. It's much faster. This detailed start has nothing in it that you can't change if you create with an existing company. So let's do a detailed start. YouTube sample company. You may have a separate legal name. This may be bear with me. My typing skills aren't the greatest, but YouTube Sample LLC. We'll make a sample tax ID number. Street address. Simple enough. You've got to be in Texas to be happy. That's a joke for all you commandos. Don't send me hate comments. You can leave this blank if you like. Enter your email address or leave it blank. Website if you have one, or leave it blank. Simple as this. Now we select the industry. Let's look through this and see. I think what would be most beneficial would be a small business retail outlet, that type thing. Let's do retail shop or online commerce. What is it? Sole proprietorship. If you don't know what you are, you need to figure that out. We're an LLC. We're not going to be a single member LLC. I'm not going to get into the tax differences. Let's call this a multi-member LLC, which is just a partnership. Let's move on. Your fiscal year. My fiscal year starts in January. This is where you select your year. Most people are on a calendar year. Their tax year and their fiscal year begins in January. And that's what we will assume and do. Administrator password. Yeah, this is always fun because they now require this and it's difficult to remember. We'll put that in. Next. Create your company file. We want to figure out where we store this company file. On my computer, YouTube sample companies, we will store this just under the desktop public. Simple as that. The file name is here. It defaults to the proper extension and the file type. We'll get into that more later. We just want to save. Tells me you don't have permission. Okay. Yes, we'll save to where I do have permission. And we'll save it under my documents. You can save it anywhere you like. It will find this file every time you open QuickBooks. You will see your company up there again. So it's important to know where it is, but QuickBooks will find the file and prompt you to open it each time. It's fairly simple. In fact, it will try to open the latest file that was open. So if you have multiple companies and you were working in one, you close the company, you go to work in another company, the next time you open QuickBooks, if after you close, it will revert to the company that you most recently worked in. So let's give this a moment to process. I may pause the video for time and I'll pick up once this creating new company file has completed. Okay, we're back. It's completed. This is the very next thing that came up. It wants to customize our QuickBooks by utilizing features that meet our needs. Industry type, what type of customer taxpayer we are, accrual versus cash basis. Typically, if you're going to have accounts receivable, people owe you money, you want to manage that, and you want to enter your bills as they come in, not as you pay them, then you want to set up an accrual basis. That's simply all it means. If you're a cash basis, then typically you'll record your revenue and your income as you put it in the bank, as you have it in your hand, not as it's due to you. Your bills, you'll record those as you pay them, as the money comes out of the bank, not when they become due. That's the difference between accrual basis and cash basis. So let's just go to next. What do we sell? Well, let's sell both services and products. How will you enter your sales? Individually or a summary or point of sale? Point of sale I'm not going to get into. I'll do a separate video later. It's much more detailed. Let's record our sales individually. Start there. A summary of sales or weekly sales. I don't think you would be utilizing a product as such as QuickBooks if you already had an accounting system to record your sales on a daily basis, and then create a summary, then you come to QuickBooks and enter that summary. To me, that just seems like extra labor, extra work. There's no sense in it. Pick a software, whether it be specialized that already has a point of sale system or a method for recording sales, or go with QuickBooks. QuickBooks is pretty good, I have to admit. What's next? Do we charge sales tax? Let's do. We need to talk about that in a later video, so let's charge sales tax. And that's not an option you get to choose. You need to determine with your local taxing authorities whether or not you need to charge sales tax on what you do. Some businesses refer to estimates as quotes, bids, or proposals. Let's don't get into that. We're not a contracting firm. We're not going out and giving quotes and bids. This adds another layer of detail that must be maintained. Remember, garbage into these systems means garbage out. Let's keep our example as simple as possible. You can find, if you need to do quotes or bids or proposals later, you can always add this function, and it's already embedded in the software. All you need to do is figure out and know how to turn it on and use it. So let's leave that no. Next, tracking customer orders. Use a sale order to track customer orders, as we're going to fill at a later date. No, again, that gets into a layer that is a little more in depth. Let's not track sales orders before we invoice. Let's invoice customers as we receive the orders. We don't want that added layer. If we have to put in a sales order, then we have to track that sales order. It's tracked until we actually fulfill it. Too much detail, I think, for the average individual. Most people will enter the sales immediately or enter the invoices immediately. Let's click Next. Using statements in QuickBooks. Billing statements are something you'll send to customers. If you've got a retail outlet, typically there aren't accounts receivable. There may be. We have set up a company which utilizes both sales and products, services and products. So we necessarily don't want to use the billing statements in QuickBooks. There aren't typically going to be statements sent out. I am going to click Yes because I want to be able to show in this sample company how we do have customers, how we do have statements that we need to send out for accounts receivable, finance charges, things of that nature. So let's select Yes. If you don't utilize it, great. You won't have this added headache. Use an invoice when you do not receive full payment at the time you provide the products. Maybe we receive down payments and we want to keep track of what the customer owes us. That's what I meant by accounts receivable. My CPA firm, we do the work, we give the work back with an invoice. I need to track what that customer owes me when I give that work back. So we're going to use invoices. Next. Progress invoicing. No. This is typically for contractors who invoice as they go. Maybe they're, in this example, a flooring contractor. Maybe they are a general contractor, a home builder, a roofer, whatever it may be. Consultants, same way. If they're large consultants, they may bill at certain time points or milestones in a project. 30% completion, or when a building is dried in, or something to that effect. No, we won't be utilizing that. Progress billing is another layer, which I will do later and cover, but right now, no. Knowing what money you owe. Yes, we want to do this, accounts payable, and I'll explain it when we get to that segment of the video, but we want to track our accounts payable, the money we owe others. Tracking inventory. Right now, no. Point of sale system in QuickBooks uses an inventory tracking system. An inventory tracking system, which I will get into later, is much more in depth, and it is much more dependent on complete, accurate information into the system, and it requires much more time. So we're going to select no. Next. Track time spent by me, partners, and employees. No, we're not going to. Our services may be based on time, but we don't necessarily need to track time by employees or by sales staff or whatever the case may be. So no is the answer. Next. Do you have employees? Let's go ahead and select yes. We want to have employees, and we have W-2 employees, and we have 1099 contractors. Most businesses have these. So let's select that and move. Next, we will help you set up your chart of accounts. Chart of accounts simply states that these are my expense accounts, these are my revenue accounts, these are my balance sheet accounts. Balance sheet accounts are cash, accounts receivable, things of that nature. Things that aren't income or expense. Things you may spend money on, like distributions to an owner. Things you may buy equipment for your business. It seems like an expense, and we'll explain this later, but it's not. So, using accounts in QuickBooks. Let's set up our chart of accounts. Let's click Next. The date you select will be your start date. Beginning of the year. We're starting in 1/1/17. Again, the help features here are great. If you're not sure, select that. You see our interview process. We're almost finished with the interview. Next. Here we go. Review income and expense accounts. These are pre-selected items which QuickBooks believes will be what we need for our chart of accounts. Let's scroll through. Okay, I'm getting some feedback in my headset. I hope you're not hearing that as well. If so, I apologize. Don't worry, I will do a review of Ice Cream Screen Recorder. I'm not impressed, needless to say. Let's allow these chart of accounts. We don't need to add anything additional at this time. Let's just select this and go. It's easy enough to add chart of accounts or accounts to your chart of accounts. Next. Congratulations, you've completed. Excellent. So, go to Setup as Next. We've gone through the interview process. QuickBooks will set up the company, and we will be off to recording transactions, getting started, adding employees, adding customers, things of that nature. Okay, the next thing that comes up, get all the details into QuickBooks. You can import information from contacts and things of that nature. Click here to see how it works if you're not familiar with it, which you probably aren't if you're watching this video. But hey, none of this is necessary. We can add all this at a later date. Right here, no data to enter right now, no problem. Add it later. Let's start working. Okay. We are into our company. It's set up and ready to go. This is a version of QuickBooks which is the accountant desktop. This you may not have. Let's just close it. New features. Let's close this. I'm not interested in the new features. We're going to learn about those. So this help prompt comes up periodically from time to time, typically as you enter new aspects. Here's what's new, help features. I'm going to end this video here because we are ready now to start the process. I will try to put a link in the descriptions to future videos. I welcome your comments. I would like for you to subscribe. If you find my videos helpful, subscribe. It helps me to continue making these, and give me your feedback. Let me know what you need help doing, because that's what I'm here to do. I want to be able to help you guys and offer this service for those of you willing to learn. You know, I get a lot of clients call who simply ask me, how do I do this, how do I do that, when the answer is just the help button away. People aren't as eager to research and find the information themselves. You are, evidently. You're here. You're researching the topic. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to provide you with assistance. So leave your comments, your feedback. I always welcome constructive criticism. If there's something I can do differently, let me know. Otherwise, like, subscribe. Thank you very much.